Enjoying this nice crisp weather. This is why we come to Florida, right? Yeah, I mean, it is cool. It has that feeling of chill, real chill in the air, but it's not oppressive. It's not like cold and I'm freezing Anyway. I'm freezing. It's gorgeous out there. Now, we've got air moving. The heat's still engaged because it's still warming up. But it only will engage if it starts getting cold. It's obviously not going to do that. If you start to sweat, just start going like that, and I'll tell someone to go adjust a thermostat. I do hope you'll come next week. Rob's a really interesting speaker. Both he and Eliza have been friends of mine in the past. They were both friends of mine prior to their getting together. I haven't seen them in a while, obviously. But Rob, he was here for 6 years prior to my coming. I've been here now for 25. And I've often said they hired me because I had the right name. They went from Rob to Bob, and they could handle that. You know. Actually, Rob and I have known of each other for years. In fact, my signature is what helped him get his ordination at one point, and yet I followed him in here. And then he went out and did other things. He was a minister out at the Unity Village Chapel for a while. He's a very interesting individual. Now, his wife, Eliza, she's a spitfire. You will definitely want to make contact with her. And the two of them together, wow, that's a team. So you'll get to see them both next week. People have been asking if I'm going to be here. Yes, I'm going to be the platform chairman. You will get to see me at my worst. You'll discover the one thing I don't do well. But in any case, I will take a shot at it, so. Let's prepare for meditation. Let's take a deep breath and sigh it out, close our eyes. And let's begin the inner journey by joining together in singing our Lord's Prayer.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And leave us not in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever.
For thine, God, is the kingdom and the power and the glory of life forever. The glory of life. The glory of life. Feel yourself letting go. We're going to let go of all the heaviness now. We release the anger and resentment that we have towards anything in life. It really doesn't matter at this moment. So we can let it go, and there's a sense of relief that rises within us. We let go of the worries and the cares. We know that God is in charge, so we let go. We release disappointment. It doesn't really matter. And we accept life as it is. And as we accept it, we realize that even in its simplest, life is filled with glory. There's a quiet joy that rises in us. I let go, and I can give my heart to my life, to all of life. And to this new year, this new cycle that's beginning. Feel the freshness. The excitement. The newness of 2019. Feel the potentials that lie before you. There are all kinds of wonderful blessings awaiting us this year. Feel the joy, the happiness that rises from feeling all the good that God has in store for you in the year ahead. And God, that wonderful presence is within you to walk with you every step of the way. So feel the Spirit within. Know that you are never alone. For the Father is always with you. Feel that Spirit within, that presence, your dearest friend. That is there with you when things go well and is there loving you and supporting you when you meet the difficulties. Realize that that beloved friend, closest to you in all the world, the beloved, is with you every step as you walk through this life. And feel the happiness that is released by knowing I walk with God. I walk with the presence that is right there within my mind and my heart, my body, and throughout the whole world around me. I live and move and have my being within a sea of God's presence, God's light, God's love. year ahead. As I walk in that presence, I feel to the depth of my being, all is well. God is with me. It's God and I, that's all I need. And all is well. Thank you, God. Amen. Who'd have thought we'd get here, huh? Personally, I remember just thinking I'd be doing good if I got to the year 2000. I thought, ooh, I'm going to make it to 2000 and everything's going to change. Yeah, I was a fan of Cataclysm in the past. Nothing happened in 82. 1982, I sat around waiting. 2000, the world survived it. Y2K didn't ruin everything. Even 2010, which was the last of the prophecies. And I bring that up because I kind of feel the same way about 2019. I wasn't terribly looking forward to this year. Seems like a weird number to me. Last week I told you how I made my peace with it. Numerologically, you add it up and it adds up to a 12. And that's a very spiritual number. There's only one problem with that. I'm a metaphysician. I can give you a spiritual meaning to all the numbers. But as we got closer to 2019, I realized it's going to be new. This really is a new cycle. And there is tremendous potential waiting for us. I've actually gotten quite excited about this year. It's a year of newness. Now, last week, we had our burning bowl, and we let go of the past, let go of what we want out of our lives. And we set our goals, set our sights on our prayer goals, on what we want to see fulfilled in the year ahead. Now, if you were here, I'm thinking that one more thing we need to add to that list, if it wasn't on there, is in 2019, I'm going to be happier than I was in 2018. That's right. 2019. We need to make a commitment to be happier. Because, bluntly, the most important thing you can do with your life is enjoy it. I don't care how much you've accomplished. If you didn't enjoy it, you missed half the purpose in being here. The glory of life. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Yeah, I'll get there as soon as I get my responsibilities out of the way. No, we need to enjoy ourselves. We need to be happy. Now, happy is an interesting word. It's a strange combination of all kinds of things. But let's make a commitment. One of our prayer goals for the year needs to be that I'm going to be happy with my life this year. Say, but I want more. Okay, I get that. The best way to have more is to get happy with what you got. Okay? He who proves worthy over a little will be placed over much. And part of the way you prove worthy over a little is to really enjoy the little you have. If you're sitting there, I don't know, this and you aren't very worthy of that little. So, 2019 has some phenomenal possibilities. I can feel it coming there. A change is already happening. And we can kick this off, and if we get into the newness, some really wonderful things can happen this year. Now, we can miss it. Remember that old Christian classic, Pilgrim's Progress? I think it was written in the 1800s. I had this nice large paperback book that actually was the picture book. And there's one I remember. So I remember one of the pictures, and it's of a passage where there is this man who is walking down the road, and he's poking at the ground. He's picking up garbage. He's just picking up whatever trash he can get to survive. And he's so intent on picking it up that he doesn't see that right beside him on the side of the road is someone there offering him a crown, offering him riches, offering him wonderful opportunities. But no, he's looking at the ground. And we can look at the ground as we enter this year, if you like. We can just say, oh, it's just going to be the same as it always has. That's the way it is. Nothing's changed. I'm just going to do. Okay, keep poking at the ground all you want. But there are some amazing possibilities that are right there if you lift your eyes off the ground and say, wow, something good could happen this year. Things that didn't work last year could start working. Things I haven't even thought of could start to unfold. Maybe I feel differently about life. I really do feel that there is tremendous potential right now. I'm excited about this year. I haven't been excited like this in a long time. And I started out with that first impression of, this is the year we're probably going to have a recession. We're probably going to do this. We're probably going to do that. And I'd never tell you that we aren't going to face any challenges this year. I have never seen a year without challenges. But there are some really good possibilities in front of us. And the challenges don't need to rob you of any of them. Let's lift our eyes up to what's being offered. This is exciting, but is my vision high enough I can see it? That's all I'm asking. There's a real potential for new and wonderful opportunities and lifestyles. There's the opportunity to do things differently in the year ahead. Really do things differently. To succeed in new ways. To take a new look at what we want out of our lives. That's one of the more exciting things. You may no longer want what you've been working toward. Maybe there's something new. Maybe you can go a new direction. This is a new game. We don't have to play by the old rules. So right now, we need to really immerse ourselves in the newness, in this starting over idea. I am starting my life over, and therefore, I don't have to live by what has happened so far. This can be different. There are going to be all kinds of good things unfold this year. I can start enjoying things, take a new tack, think outside the box. If you could do differently things this year, what would you choose to do differently? Because bluntly, this is a new cycle. We have millions of minds across the world talking about it's a new year. This is the easiest time to change and move out of one rut into another path of any time. We're all agreeing it's a new cycle. It's in the thought atmosphere. What would you do differently? You can do things differently this year. Or you can change your attitude about the things you are doing and do exactly the same things and have a different life. Either way, this can be a new lease on life, you might say. In Romans 12:2, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. The bottom line is, you want to be a new person in this new year. You want to make that commitment to be a happier person in 2019, because that means you're going to get a whole lot more out of this year. Now, happiness is a little bit elusive, isn't it? That's because it's such an interesting word. Next week, we're going to take joy head on, and we're going to work with that energy as a spiritual energy and generate it as much as we can. But happiness, that's a combination of a whole bunch of things. It's a combination of accepting where you are instead of resisting it. You know, it's learning to love my life instead of hating my life. Been around very long, you know, I've told you the story of the time that I spent 6 weeks meditating, trying to decide where my deep emotional pain was coming from. What was its root? What was its cause? And after 6 weeks of meditation, I came to this phenomenal conclusion. I came out and said, I know the source of my pain. It is nothing. It's a switch. You turn it on, you turn it off. You take offense, you don't take offense. You love it, you hate it. It's your choice. A great deal of happiness is just letting go and accepting your life. You say, but I want more. Accept what you got and love it and enjoy it, and you're ripe for more. That's the way it works. Well, if we're going to be happier this year, and we're going to say, that's my commitment, I'm going to make as one of my goals to be happier. I've got 7 suggestions, 7 things to work on this year that will definitely make you a happier person. If you can do all 7, you are a whole lot better person than me. But if you could even just choose a couple of them and work on them, they will literally change the way you feel about your life. And the way you feel about your life, in the end, will change your life, what you experience. So, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Number 1, embrace starting over with the new cycle. We're going to embrace starting over. There is a spiritual practice that I simply call starting over. It is recognizing that from this point on, everything's going to be new. And if it's new, you cannot take the old patterns in. You have to say, okay, do I still hate sweet potatoes? I remember the most amazing, I was 15 years old. I had hated sweet potatoes all my life, but I'm away at this camp and I'm hungry. And there are sweet potatoes on it. And okay, give me a sweet potato. And I went, wow, this is good. I suddenly like sweet potatoes. You are allowed to like things you used to hate. Okay, you're allowed to change. You're allowed to feel differently. You're allowed to turn around and say, this job that I have seen as pure drudgery, I'm going to enjoy it. You know, you're allowed to say, you know, I don't want what I wanted last year. I think I want something different. Isaiah 43:18. Thus says the Lord. Don't you like that? Thus says the Lord. Remember not the former things, neither consider the things of the past. Behold, I will do a new thing. I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. We're going to let go of the past. We're going to do a new thing with this year. And notice when you embrace that in newness, rivers in the desert, that area of your life that was a desert, this year it could flow with water. It's new. We don't have to be held back by the past limits. We need to let them go. So, let's embrace the newness of 2019. We can keep our eyes on the ground and just keep poking at garbage and just let life move on the way it always has. Or we have this phenomenal opportunity of embracing the newness of the cycle and allowing that newness to express through our lives in a most interesting way as we start expecting things to be good. If we start expecting a new cycle, new things to unfold, they're going to show up. It's going to happen. So we're going to affirm over and over, because we're going to have to drill it in for a little while. 2019. Do you like it 2019 or 2019? How many for 2019? How many for 2019? Okay, 2000. I was with you guys, but they got the vote, so we're going. Okay. 2019 is going to be a good year for me. Together. 2019 is going to be a good year for me. Why don't you say it again, because I'm not sure you believe it yet. Together. 2019 is going to be a good year for me. Let's do it again. 2019 is going to be a good year for me. And what?
And my loved one.
And your loved one. She's going to do it for everybody. That's a great idea. You're going to have to use this for a little while, so we kind of set the stage. Our expectation for the year is it's going to be a good year. Will other things happen? Oh, sure. It's going to be a good year. Good year. You know, the tires. You're going to have to affirm 2019 is going to be a good year for me. And keep reminding yourself of that. So that becomes kind of your byline. Hey, it's 2019. It's going to be a good year for me. Feel the fresh start and expect things to be different. That is better. Okay? Expect it to be new. Don't expect it to be the same old thing. Expect it to be new. Exciting. Opportunities. Something's going to come through. Something's going to unfold. I may not know what it is yet, but I know something's coming. And the real practice is, as I described earlier, to go through. And every time you do something, say, wait a second, it's 2019. Let's see, do I still like this or not? Do I still want to do this or not? Do I want to do something different with my life now? Bluntly, you should be changing what you want to do with your life all along. The stages of life will change you without any problem at all. I can guarantee you that what you think you want when you're in your 20s and what you think you want when you're in your 60s and 70s will change dramatically. Every era and every year, we're allowed to say, you know, I feel like I need to go a new way. For me, I've decided to move back up into the big house. You say, what? I live on a property, 3 acres. I have the illusion of being in the country. It's purely an illusion, but though you can hear the traffic, you can't see any of it. And there's the big house, and then there is the little 400 square foot, 1-bedroom place that we originally had for Damien when he was on the property and needed his own place. He was recovering from a brain injury. Everybody in the family has taken their turn in it. Lindsay said she was moving out when she was 15. What that meant was she was moving 50 foot down the property. She reminded me that my last words of wisdom, I helped her move in. She said, Mom was like, you shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't move out. You should probably stay here, et cetera. She says, Dad helped me move in. And then after he was done, he looked at me and he said, you're going to have to wash your own dishes now. But a couple of years ago, I decided I was ready to downsize. I wanted to live a monastic type life. And I moved into my 400 square foot. And I've been assuming that down the road I would rent out the front house and that would pay the mortgage. And this year I suddenly realized I'm done with my monastic life. I'm ready to move back up to the big house. I don't know what changed, but it's new. I want something different. I'm going to change the plan, and I'm allowed to. You're allowed to change the plan to fit who you are now. So, number one, embrace starting over and ask yourself every time you do something, this is a new cycle, is this really what I want to do? When you were younger, you wanted to climb to the top. You wanted to compete. You wanted to make your impact. You may be at a point where you want to let go. You just want to enjoy. Now, my advice, of course, is if you're climbing to the top, enjoy climbing. And if you're letting go, enjoy letting go. Whatever you're doing, enjoy it. That moves us into number two. Commit to being more accepting in the year ahead. Yeah, don't you like that one? I'll tell you why it's here and why it's right up front. A great deal of happiness hinges on not taking offense to what life brings you. You want to be unhappy, just take offense. Just set your goals and say, I won't be happy unless this happens. You'll spend 90% of your time unhappy. If you want to be happier, you've got to embrace acceptance. Acceptance opens up all kinds of doors spiritually. You say, well, I'm not sure how I want to accept. I want more. Don't worry. Life will open up more to you. If you're really enjoying, if you're accepting where you are. Matthew 7:1, judge not that you be not judged. And Matthew 5:39, I say to you that you should not resist evil. The more you end up judging harshly the world around you and not accepting what you're up against, the more adversaries you have. And the more your life becomes a power struggle, not an experience of harmony. You're allowed to have a power struggle all you want. In fact, it's a popular version of life. It's just not a terribly happy one. You only get to be happy when you are on top. And you're going to spend at least half your time not on top. Maybe more. And don't get to be happy then. So, judge not. Resist not evil. Don't spend your time dwelling on what's wrong with the world around you. Any old fool can do that. I know we live in a society that thinks you are smart when you know what's wrong with something. That isn't how you prove your brains. Anybody can say what's wrong with something. It takes some real insight to talk about what's right with that situation, to find the goodness in it. So, choose to accept rather than reject whatever life requires of you. Did you hear that? Requires of you. If you can choose, choose. I didn't ever tell you you have to put up with stuff if you can choose not to. If you can choose not to, don't. But so often we find ourselves in places in life where we don't have a lot of choice. And if you can't choose, accept. Accept it. Life's offering it. I'm not going to resent it. I'm not going to reject it. I'm going to embrace it. Life offered. I got no choice. I'm doing it. Resistance is pain. That's why he said, resist not evil. Don't hang on. Don't create more pain in your life. Choose not to take offense to the people around you. In the year ahead, do you think you could choose to take less offense to the people around you? I was just reading a thing on the internet. Some judge was reaming the people who were there because one young man had killed another young man following a sporting event. And it all started because one person's feet brushed the other person's feet, and he felt he had been disrespected. He took offense. It resulted in murder. Come on. Don't take offense. The guy brushing your feet, he's just a stupid idiot. There's lots of them running around in the world, and guess what? You're one too. We're all stupid idiots. That's why we're on earth. We need to give each other a little space, a little more accepting. When someone insults you, you can either take offense or you can laugh it off, which will probably infuriate him. If you don't take offense, that really blows a hole in the people who are trying to offend you. It's really hard on them. They have such a rough time with it. A long time ago, I learned a phrase that I have to bring up every once in a while. When someone is being discordant, it is not a personal affront. It is a measure of their pain. So someone's disrespecting you, someone's whatever. This is not a happy person who's doing that. Happy people don't go around messing with other people. This is someone lost in his own pain. And if you can move to compassion, you don't have to feel the resistance that will cause you pain. You don't have to go there with him or her. So we've talked about what not to do. Here's what to do if we're going to be more accepting. Choose to enjoy the things you do, the life you have, and what you have, the things you have. Choose to enjoy it. Yeah, but this is not the car of my dreams. And I want the car of my dreams. Okay, your first step is to enjoy this one. Enjoy driving what you got. Enjoy where you live. That doesn't trap you into going beyond and finding more. It shows that he is worthy over a little will be placed over much. It shows you worthy of a whole lot more. It moves you on down the road. But in the meantime, success in life is not by what things you gather. It's how much you enjoy where you are. Where you are. The older you get, the more you'll know that. It's how you enjoy where you are. How you accept and say, I'm going to enjoy my place in life. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to enjoy it. If I'm going to go to work, I'm going to enjoy going to work. Your other choice is to hate it all day long. Why not choose to enjoy it? What I have, I don't have everything I want. Well, I'm going to choose to enjoy what I do have. The things that I have. I'm going to accept where I am and allow myself to enjoy where I am, even if my prayer goals are out there beyond that. Number 3. The third one. Commit to be more positive in the coming year. We often do that. We say, oh, I'm going to be more positive. And we forget that about 3 days in. What does more positive mean? You know, the go-to scripture on this one is Philippians 4:8. Whatever is true, honest, just, pure, lovely, of good report, if there is any virtue, if there is any praise, think about these things. Where you can put your attention. I'm going to be more positive. Well, part of that positivity starts by expecting good things to happen this year. I'm going to expect that this is going to be a good year. And maybe it's looking for blessings. You go out every day and you say, there are going to be blessings out there for me today. I'm looking. Where's my blessing? I get at least one blessing a day. Come on. I'm looking for it. It's somewhere. Straight out of Pam Grout and E Squared. You look for blessings, they will show up. If you're not looking for them, you may miss them. So, part of being more positive is looking for blessings. The second part of being positive is to acknowledge the difficulties quickly and then emphasize the good. No one said to be positive, you had to be blind. That is not what's going on here. You are allowed to notice everything. When you say, no, I wasn't fired today. I have my perfect job. No, I'm pretty sure you were fired. I don't expect you to not look at it. I expect you to look at it. Well, let's put it this way. Ernest Holmes, when he did his prayer treatment method, the first step is look at the problem. Not tell yourself it's not there. Look at it. Once you recognize it, then turn away from it. Turn to the good. So, difficulties are going to happen this year. Part of being positive is, I'm going to say, yep, I had a little problem today, da-da-da-da-da-da. But you know, I've also had some good things happen today, and you move to the good side, and that's where you put the emphasis. Life is about emphasis. You are to recognize everything, function within all that you know, but dwell upon goodness. That'll make you a whole lot happier. I guarantee you. Cut the negative statements out of your daily banter. Oh, this is straight out of Pam Grout. E squared, E cubed. She's a good writer. We all say things that we think sound cute, which are really, we don't mean them. That's why we think they're cute. But as part of our commitment to being a more positive individual, we could actually pick out a few and say, you know, I'd like to kill so-and-so. Well, I'm not going to say that anymore. I'm not going to threaten to kill anyone. Okay. And that's going to be part of my practice for the year. I'm not going to threaten to kill anyone. How many people have I killed so far? Well, nobody actually. But I have threatened a lot. Maybe it's time to quit. Just move that out and say, okay, I'm going to be more positive. And the first thing, Pam pointed out that if you remove a few of these negative thoughts, these negative phrases that we just flip off our tongue all the time, and make an effort to remove them from your daily banter, you will see a difference in your life very quickly. Now, here's the big one on being more positive. Refrain from telling everyone what is wrong with each situation you encounter. Now, I know this one's going to be hard. We live off saying, well, they say, see what I created? Oh, it's wonderful. Oh, I got to tell you this. I shouldn't. One Christmas, Karen presented me, I opened my present from her, and she knew I was into Bambi. You know, when I was a kid, I had little statues of Bambi and all of this. So she got me these wonderful porcelain Bambi bookends. And I opened them up, and I pulled them out. And I'm looking, and they're in pieces. Bambi's head is laying off somewhere else. And she says, do you like him? And I says, Bambi's head fell off. And she says, you always find something wrong with it. Now, she sort of had a point, but I was just wondering whether she knew Bambi's head was off. And actually she did. She knew I was a better gluer than she was, so I was going to get to glue it back on. She had gotten it at the used store. In any case. Well, that's her favorite spot. Anyway. But how often do we look at something and we say, but Bambi's head fell off? You know, I mean, that's kind of how we are, you know. We look and we say, oh, but it's not blue. You know, do you like your new car? Yeah, but it's got this one little thing I don't like about it. Well, fine, but don't spend your time there. It's not that important to tell everybody every little thing that's wrong with life. Let's be the one who says, you know, that was a wonderful feel. I admit, I'm one of those who likes to say the downside up front. That's why as soon as I get it out of the way, I then put real emphasis on what I like about it, because I usually have to repair some damage by the time I get there. And lastly, be the person who has fun and plays with life, no matter where you are or what you're doing. Are you having a good time? Why not commit to this year, have a good time no matter what you're doing? If you're going to work, have a good time. Standing in line at the bank, have a good time, you know. So I do. I just say to the next guy, boy, they're really slow up there. This is terrible. That's how people think they're having a good time. Well, let's move away from the negativity, but have a good time. You know, watch them scurrying around trying to get everything done. Laugh over the fact that the three people in front of you have the biggest messes you've ever seen that are going to take a half hour apiece. You know, I mean, have a good time. I was talking to this financial advisor that my sister has, and actually, he has a little tiny bit of money for me. And I was talking to him, and I'm just having a good time. He's in Kentucky. I'm just, you know, saying, yeah. And he's telling me, yeah, I have to talk with people. Oh, I'll bet you're trying to keep them from jumping out windows right now, aren't you? You know, yeah, sort of. You know, and he's having, by the time we're off, he doesn't want to get off the phone with me. We're having a great time. Now, Diane, my sister, tells me later, he had also said, I imagine Diane will be calling shortly to check in on things, you know. And I went, well, she's the watchdog. And last time he was in there, he was saying all that was going on, and he's saying, I'm going to have to get rid of some, you know, I'm going to have to drop a few of my clients that are just, you know, too hard to get along with, you know. And Diane says, and I said, I'll be better. I'll be good. I said, don't worry, Diane. He'll keep you. He likes me. Have a good time while you're talking to your financial advisor. Have a good time when you're driving. Say, wow, that guy knows how to make that hand signal. That is neat. Okay, we're going to go to number 4 and try to move this along. Commit to treat your body well in 2019. hey, this thing has served you well. Be proud of it. Be happy with it. Does it belong on the cover of a magazine? Maybe not. I used to complain readily about that I was skinny. That has changed a little bit over the years, I have a body. I'm very proud of my body, even if it didn't hit its peak until 68. Your body has served you well. It's worthy of some love. And if you want to be happy, I've heard people complain they have to spend money on their bodies. I think that's the place you can spend it best. Because if anything can give you a run for your money when it comes to being happy, it can be your body if you abuse it. So, take turn. Give it some love. Give it some care. Give it some praise. It's done well. It's carried you through all kinds of stuff. It stores all those negative feelings that you've had all your life, and it doesn't totally break down. It's still going. Survival is success. So here we go. Proverbs 17:22. I really like this one because it goes from heaven to hell. Here we go. A merry heart makes the body healthy. A merry heart. Just being happy will make your body healthy. But he's got to tell you the other half. But a broken spirit dries up the bones. I had images of the movie The Mummy. It will. A broken spirit. Negative emotions can destroy a body quicker than anything else. That's why we need to watch them and determine to be a little more positive. Praise your body on a constant basis. You were given custody of this thing. Praise it. Don't fill it with anger and disappointment. Try to move those emotions on out for the sake of your body. Feed it more healthy food. Do body maintenance and upkeep and enjoy it. Say, hey, if you had a horse, I guarantee you'd have to take care of it. This is your horse. Put some love and attention into it. Do not push it beyond what is good for it. Oh, that one's hard. We all are used to being able to drive it into the ground when we want to go into the ground. And I am trying to finish up. We're going to get there. Regularly, and here's the last one. Regularly do activities that are simply sensually pleasant for your body. It's like taking your body out to dinner. Well, I guess that is one thing you could do for your body as long as you eat healthy food. But I more had in mind a hot bath. Doing stretches. Stretches are a mixed bag. They hurt when you do them, but they feel awfully good after you're done. Massage. Brian paid me to say that one. He's a massage therapist. What else have I got? Oh, and the last one. This is my creative version. Go out and lay on the ground in the sun. Feel the earth underneath you and the sun hitting you. Allow your body to interact sensually with your environment and feel the goodness of that. Number 5, commit to love more from here on. I love this one, 1 Peter 4:8. Above all things, have fervent love toward one another because love covers a multitude of sins. Well, we all got to cover up some mistakes we got going on here. So you can, he who loves much is forgiven much, right? We're not going to live perfect lives, but we're going to love a little more. We're going to love people, animals, plants, natures, sunsets, everything we can love. We're going to open up and feel more. Commit to get out of your head a little more and feel a little more this year. Commit to pour more energy into your relationships and appreciate them. You see, that's the problem. I don't have a relationship. Yes, you do. If nothing else, you got spiritual family. They're around you right now. And I know you got other friends. You have relationships. Appreciate what you have. And pour some energy into it. And while you're at it, learn to love yourself a little more. Use the same type of compassion on yourself you would on your son or your daughter. Number 6, make it a priority to notice more beauty this year. That's part of opening that heart and feeling more. That's all going to make you happier. Psalm 19:1, the heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament shows his handiwork. Throughout your day, look for beauty, cherish it, stop ignoring it. We walk by the most beautiful things because we're so intent on paying the bill. Notice the beauty, and it'll make paying the bill worthwhile. Take time to watch the sunset. Take time to walk out at night and enjoy nature at night. Wherever you go, notice gardens, architecture, the sky, the birds, the colors. And take a moment to notice what is beautiful about every person you meet. They may be an adversary, but there's something beautiful about them. Just notice it. Which leads us at number 7, and you're saying, thank God. And that's number 7. Walk with God every day. John 16:32, I am never alone because the Father is with me. We need to follow in Jesus' footsteps here. We need to make the Father within our constant companion. That presence is within us right now. We need to talk with that presence constantly. We make the inner voice our partner in life. And always remember that presence is inside of me, is there with me. I'm not alone. You need to do that especially when you feel alienated or alone. Nobody understands me. You need to be able to go inside and know it's just God and me in here, you know? And that's all I need. God walks with me every step of this way. I feel that presence. That'll release happiness. That allows happiness to rise inside of you. Okay, we're there. 2019 is going to be a good year for me, everybody together. 2019 is going to be a good year for me. This is truly a new game with new possibilities. And if we could commit to even just a couple, 1 or 2 of these things I mentioned here, and by the way, they're all printed in the bulletin for those of you who say, I can't remember a thing you just said, which is 99 and 44/100% of you. But in any case, at least it would be for me, but it's in the bulletin. Choose 1 or 2 at least and work with them and make this year something different. Because if you can, I guarantee you will enjoy life a lot more, and you will be the person who belongs in a better life, the person who is happy to be alive in 2019. Let's close our eyes. Father, we give thanks for your presence always with us, for the glory of life. What we will open our hearts this year to embrace. Make this year something wonderful. Thy will be done in each of our lives. Amen. The ushers have come forward.